Jack's hand slid across my thigh, bold sure making my breath catch. Ethan's fingers traced my back, light teasing, sending shivers through me. The air crackled electric heavy between us three. My pulse raced skin burning, and in that moment, I knew there was no turning back. In Savannah, Georgia, I never planned to end up at that rooftop bar. A friend mentioned it in passing, a place with dim lanterns, cozy tables, and a view stretching across the city's skyline. The kind of spot you glimpse, think someday, and forget. That night, I wasn't thinking at all. Work had been brutal, endless meetings, a desk buried in files, my forced smiles draining every ounce of life. I kicked off my heels at the door, ready to collapse, but something stopped me. A nagging email, a restless ache deep inside pushed me to grab my coat, slip my shoes back on, and head out. The elevator ride was quiet, too quiet, amplifying the hum of my own thoughts. I stared at my reflection in the mirrored walls, trying to shake the exhaustion etched into my face. When the doors slid open, voices and soft music flooded in a stark contrast to the silence I'd left. The rooftop pulsed with life, people under warm lantern-light laughter cutting through the air, a pocket of heat and energy high above the cold city below. I drifted to the bar, feeling out of place, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. My reflection gleamed in the polished counter lamplight, and dark wood casting a dreamlike haze, like stepping into someone else's life. First time here, a smooth voice pulled me back. I turned, meeting Jack's eyes, not just any bartender. His sleeves rolled up, arms better suited for splitting wood than mixing drinks. His gaze steady, piercing, stealing my breath. "Yeah," I said, trying to hide the nerves as his mouth curved, slow, knowing. "What's your drink?" I hesitated, caught off guard. He raised an eyebrow, eyes glinting with mischief. "Let me impress you." As Jack mixed the drink, I couldn't stop watching his movements, fluid, confident, magnetic. When he slid the glass to me, his fingers brushed mine, a spark igniting. I sipped, perfect, sharp, waking me up. My mood shifted, the day's weightlifting like shedding a skin. Jack asked questions, not small talk, real ones about my day, why I was here, what I needed to unwind. He cared, or seemed to, and I found myself talking, leaning closer, laughing at his dry humor. Then the air shifted, subtle but heavy. Ethan appeared, leaning against the bar a few feet away. Blonde hair tousled, leather jacket slung loose over his shoulders, effortless. His presence was different, softer, teasing a contrast to Jack's intensity. I glanced at Jack, catching a flicker in his calm facade, something unspoken passing between them. Ethan stepped closer, a slow, confident smile spreading. "First time here." His voice was low, warm, stirring something new in my chest. "Yeah," I said, feeling a pulse of heat. Jack set another drink before me, deliberate, his voice soft. "You're in for a hell of a night." Ethan chuckled, swirling his whiskey. "We'll see about that." It started subtle, a quiet tension building. Ethan asked a question, Jack countered with a comment, each leaning closer, standing taller, vying for my attention. They weren't just talking to me, they were competing, and I was caught in the middle, loving every second. For the first time in too long, I felt alive, wanted. Jack's place was exactly as I'd pictured, cozy yet raw leather armchairs, gleaming under dim light, a record player humming in the corner cedar, and clean linen filling the air, warm, inviting. Ethan followed me in, tossing his jacket onto a chair with casual ease. "Nice spot," he said, glancing around, nodding to Jack. Jack's smile stayed, but his eyes held mine, testing. "You sure about this? If I wasn't, I wouldn't be here." I said, my words a challenge. his look saying he understood. The door slammed shut, shifting the air like flipping a switch. Ethan stepped closer, fingers grazing my arm as he leaned in, voice low. "How do we start?" Jack was already there, hand sliding up my thigh, slow, deliberate. "We already have," he said, voice deep, eyes locked on mine, anchoring me. Ethan moved behind me, hands on my shoulders, lighter testing at first, then gliding down my back, making me shiver. "You feel that?" Ethan whispered, breath warm against my ear. "So do I." I nodded, words failing, breath catching as Jack's lips brushed my neck, each exhale sparking fire down my spine. "You nervous?" Jack murmured, fingers tracing slow circles, waking every inch of my skin. "Relax, just feel." Ethan's hands found my hips, steady, pulling me closer. "He's right," he said, voice low, coaxing. "Let us take care of you." My heart pounded loud in my ears. I closed my eyes, letting them lead. Jack's touch was firm, electric, each stroke sharpening my senses. Ethan's stubble grazed my shoulder, lips hovering, teasing, not quite touching. "Tell us what you want," Ethan said, voice persistent, pulling. I started to speak, but Jack cut me off, lips brushing my nape. "Just let us," he said, thumb pressing the curve of my waist, drawing me in. Ethan's lips grazed my ear. "You're trembling." Clothes slipped away, each piece bearing more, igniting more. Jack's grip tightened, his touch, sure-charged eyes commanding. "Look at me," he said, soft but firm, and I met his gaze, pulse racing. Ethan's hands moved with purpose, lips finally finding my neck, leaving a trail of heat. "You feel that?" he asked again, breath hot on my skin. "So do I." Their movements were seamless, like they'd done this before, not together, but with the same understanding, the same balance. Jack's strength was tempered with care, his touch steady, reassuring. Ethan was precise, guiding, pulling me deeper into the rhythm. The room grew warmer, closer, my mind spinning in the best way. It was overwhelming, intense, but so natural. Every touch, every whisper, every shift pulled me further into a moment I never wanted to end. After we lay there silent, but for our slowing breaths, Jack rose first, wordless, heading to the kitchen. I stayed with Ethan, sprawled on the couch, his arm draped over the back, his smug smile teasing. "Didn't see that coming," he said, voice low, making me flush despite everything. "Yeah," I whispered, voice barely there. He chuckled, leaning back, eyes closing like he had all the time in the world. "You'll be fine." I nodded, not sure what fine meant anymore. Jack returned, handing me a glass of water, fingers brushing mine, a quiet spark. No awkwardness, no lingering tension, just a silent understanding. What happened was what we needed. Ethan stretched, grabbing his jacket. "Don't get too comfortable without me," he teased, kissing my temple before heading out, his scent of leather and whiskey lingering. I sat a moment longer, the couch soft under my fingers, the electric hum still alive. Jack walked me to the door, his gaze steady, unreadable. "Take care of yourself," he said, voice soft, but not cold, like he knew this was the line and that was okay. Outside, the night air was cool, the city alive in a way I hadn't noticed before. My pulse still raced, their touches burned into me. A small voice nagged, wondering if I'd crossed a line I couldn't uncross, but I pushed it aside, riding the strange thrill all the way home. I'll never forget that night, how it unfolded, how it felt to let go. Did it shock you? Make you curious for more? Drop it in the comments. I read them all. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. More's coming. Thanks for being here.